These quiet opening credits set the stage for what's to come. Those of us who knew about the Hulk found ourselves already waiting for the jump scare. Mildest jump scare you'll ever see. That scene takes us into a long dream montage of David Banner and his wife Laura enjoying life with all its ups and downs. It's a well done and touching view of a couple who are hopelessly in love and who make the most of every moment they have together. After 44 years, I still feel the same way about my wife. She's my best friend, the other half of me. In the dream sequence, they've been picnicking and are heading home in their car. Now the dream turns to a nightmare. We'll discover that it's a nightmare he has way too often. Laura is still in the car and it's on fire. The door is jammed into the dirt. He can't get it open and there's not enough glass exposed to try and break the window. He has to raise the car up somehow. He couldn't save her. It's haunted him ever since. He heads into work where we meet Dr. Elaina Marks, David's work partner and best friend.
This is it?
That's it.
Oh, good grief. I carry this around for a while. I can give up my exercise classes.
Why don't you give them up anyway? I think you look terrific, Dr. Marks.
Oh, Jerry, I always knew I liked you. Hey, why don't you run away with me to Acapulco?
Oh, well, how about someplace more exotic?
Casablanca.
Well,
The Mayo Clinic.
now you're talking.
Oh, Jerry, you've been here too long. Too long!
Sexual harassment? Not really. She gives as good as she gets. It's the kind of friendly, consensual banter you could get away with in public in 1977.
Oh, Ben.
Hi.
Ben, hi. Listen, what happened to the adrenal scans and the synapse tests?
Not back yet. I heard the myoglobin analysis is here.
Myoglobin analysis is here.
Looks thorough. Hey, a reporter named Jack McGee called.
Yeah, he's from the National Register, wants to interview us.
National Register is not exactly the Washington
No,
Post.
not exactly. That's why we've been ducking him. Listen, would you do me a favor? If you see David, would you tell him I'm in...
David there.
Oh, thanks. Good morning.
The National Register is a tabloid scandal sheet, and Jack McGee has a reputation as a man with no morals or scruples. What's he want with Dr. Marks? That'll have to wait. Going by what she said, it can wait forever.
Dreaming again? Bad as before?
Yeah.
Thinking of going back to the shrink?
Oh, what's the use? The doctor said I should expect the dreams to recur every now and then.
Yeah, but they were better for a while. It's been almost a year.
11 months. Tomorrow.
It's not hard to see that survivor's guilt is eating him alive. Nevertheless, they have a job to do. We still don't know what it is, but there must be something.
Dr. Marks?
Yes, Liz.
Mrs. Jessie Maier and her son are here for you.
Okay. Would you tell him I'll be right out? Thank you. David? Look, I think we should put this particular interview off for today.
No, we're going to do it. So, why don't you bring them in while I go buy a donut?
We're going to find out what their job is because Mrs. Maier and her son have quite a story to tell.
And what we're trying to figure out here is just how strong the human body can be.
Hey, my mom was real strong once. She saved my life.
Yes, I know. And that's what we want to talk to you about. As I told you on the phone, Mrs. Maier, what we're trying to learn is how to tap into that really incredible reserve of human strength that all of us have and only use about 20% of.
We've all heard the stories. Someone lifts a 1,000-pound boulder off someone else. Someone flips a car over to save someone. Feats of amazing strength under stress. How does that happen, and how can we control it and make use of it? It starts with getting a record of stories like this one.
I was driving to Columbus, Ohio to see my sister Katie, and BJ was sitting on the passenger side playing with his car as usual. But he did have his seatbelt on. There wasn't much traffic. I was going about 50, I think. I just glanced over at BJ just before it happened.
Her story is eerily similar to David's. The car skidded and rolled just like his did.
I guess the door, it sprung open because all of a sudden I was just right there on the ground. The car was turned over to one, sort of on its top to one side like that. And the fire started up, and I knew that I had to get BJ out of there.
She was ejected from the car like he was, and left to be the only one who could get the other person out like he was. I don't know how David is handling this.
And then I went over to the car, and there were flames like all over the top of the bottom of the car there, and that's where they figured that my, where my face got burned at that.
That's the only real difference between her story and David's. The car door was pinned, BJ couldn't get out, and she couldn't get to it.
Then it happened. Somehow, I was lifting up the car. I was lifting up the car. It started to move real slowly, but I kept lifting and lifting. I don't know where I got the strength. I don't know where it came from, but there it was.
The part we don't hear about is, as quick as the crisis is over, the strength is gone. That's the problem with trying to analyze an event like that. There's no way to recreate or repeat it. Oh, I suppose we could shove BJ back into an upside-down burning car and see what happens, but that strikes me as a little extreme.
And I got him out.
Now, according to my calculations, the weight was later found to be in excess of 1,200 pounds. Excuse me, Mrs. Bellinger.
Also, it may be a little too personal for David to keep his objectivity.
Where did she find that strength, Elaina? 110-pound women don't just lift up a half-ton car. Now, where did that come from?
I don't know. But if she tapped into it, it's got to be there.
But how could she find the strength and I couldn't? You heard her story. My God, that's exactly what happened to me. Except that her son is alive and Laura is dead.
He has to know there's some factor beyond anyone's control at work here, but again, he's a little too close to the situation to stay objective.
And in every other case that we've researched, it's been the same story over and over and over again. But what is the common denominator?
Elaina thinks he should abandon this research. She can see what it's doing to him, and she's not convinced it's worth it. But she's mistaken, because if his research does let him tap into that strength, then we have an Incredible Hulk movie. If he abandons it, we have 90 minutes of this.
I warned you when we went into this. I felt you were too close to it because of what happened to Laura. And I've watched it eat away at you for the last 10 months. And now it's starting to affect your work.
What?
How can you hope to examine a medical phenomenon with cool scientific objectivity?
If I keep losing my cool. You know, my mother always used to tell me getting angry doesn't help.
Well, I always liked your mother.
I'm glued to my seat. More interviews, more tests, more nothing. Lots of amazing feats of strength, no explanations forthcoming. That almost sounded poetic.
Dr. Banner? Yes?
I'm Jack McGee from the National Register.
Excuse me.
I was hoping I'd be able to get an interview with you.
No, thank you.
Oh, come on, Doctor. This research that you're doing gets people right where they live. Everybody would like to know how to tap into their hidden strengths. Surely you can tell me something about that.
No, I'm sorry.
Why not? My newspapers...
His what? Tabloids stretched the definition of newspaper to the breaking point. I'll let Dr. Banner lay it out.
Very interesting.
Oh, Mr. McGee, your newspaper is only interested in reporting murder, rape, horoscopes, UFOs, and Farrah Fawcett. I don't happen to fit into any of those categories, and I wish not to be interviewed.
Yeah, what he said. We know Jack is a bad guy. He smokes. That was one of the more subtle anti-smoking campaigns of the 70s. Only evil people smoke. The evil people always lose, so don't be like them. David and Elaina have been examining cells right down to the mitochondria and found nothing unusual.
Maybe we should go deeper still.
Into the nucleus of the cell.
To the DNA. We have nothing left to examine. You know, Ben's been souping up a lot of our equipment in higher power. Did he happen to modify this particular unit for higher magnification?
Well, I know it's set at 200,000. Yeah, he has a tape mark here for... 1 million.
Let's see what we can see.
So far, the only common thread they've found is extreme emotional distress, and that explains nothing. David is convinced there's some kind of physical factor that triggers the strength.
The ultimate building block of life.
David, there's something here.
What?
There's an abnormal concentration of the adenine-thymine combination.
Ah. Okay. Okay. Now let's take a look at Mr. Bram's DNA structure.
I won't pretend to know what that means, but it's got them both super excited.
All 78 cases, all of them have the same DNA deviation.
Yeah, but how does it work, David? How did it make them unnaturally strong?
Oh, one thing at a time, Dr. Marks. At least we know they're different from me.
No, we don't.
What?
When was the last time you had your DNA magnified 1 million times?
Well, let's see. There was that time at that convention in Miami. Good grief, she's right. Does he also have it?
That's impossible.
Yes, he also has it.
The same variant in your DNA. Even more than most of the others.
Elaina, it can't be. I never found the strength that they did.
No, there must be some ingredient missing. Something external operating.
But what?
Here's what he should take away from that. There is some external factor at work here, which means that factor is at fault for Laura's death, not you. He needs to grab onto that and really start to heal.
David, we've got a problem with the microwave transmission from Pittsburgh. It may be a while before we can get that DNA data you wanted.
How long a delay?
Well, it's hard to figure. We've got some heavy-duty gamma ray interference. Could be a sunspot kicking up or something.
We'll try again tomorrow. Thanks, Ben.
I got roped into an MLM once. It was a total disaster and I lost a few friends, but I did take one good thing away from that company, and here it is. All you can do is all you can do. It's something everybody should keep in their pocket when faced with a situation beyond their control. If you've done all you can do, that's all you can do. The rest is out of your hands. I can't tell you how much easier that statement has made my life. It's sad what it cost me, but...
Well, that it is.
Something external operating.
Now, this represents all the gamma ray interference for the past year, right?
Yeah, the peaks show maximum interference. The dates are up here at the top.
Now, gamma rays have been known to interfere with biological activity, have they?
I don't know.
I'm sure they have. I'm sure they have. Ben, look, can I borrow this for a while?
Sure, be my guest.
Sure enough, the feats of great strength happen during high gamma ray periods.
What about me?
Ouch. But if he's right and this correlation really is causation, it proves that not being able to move the car really was the fault of an external factor, the sun.
Come on, Elaina. Come on.
I can tell him why she's not answering. To make a call, you have to push one of those clear buttons and select a line. He's not connected to anything. And now he's gonna do something stupid. They have an irradiating machine that can emit gamma rays.
300,000?
Remember how the numbers went when Ben souped up the microscope? It went from 200,000 to 1,000,000, and that one was marked. He's assuming it means 300,000. He straps himself into the thing that holds your head still for an X-ray and waits for the automatic timer to do its thing. He forgot to mount a mirror for himself so he can see the control panel. I think if he saw that flashing light, he'd probably get out of there. But he didn't, so he didn't. It shuts off after 30 seconds. He doesn't feel any different, and a quick test reveals that he's not any stronger than he was before. He did discover that his family jewels were Pee-wee marbles now.
Where did she find that strength?
I lifted the car. That's all.
How could she find the strength and I couldn't? What made all these people so strong? Oh, terrific.
I don't mind a little rain, but that doesn't meet my definition of a little.
Oh, there must be some ingredient missing.
Why, take the sucker down.
I bent that steel beam.
I was lifting up the car. I lifted the car.
What is the common denominator?
I'm starting to think he should try taking the bus. It's cheaper than buying tires all the time. There's nothing for it but to get the jack and spare out and change it. In the trunk, the inanimate objects are winning and he's getting angrier and angrier. He finally has everything, so he's ready to raise the car. I miss bumper jacks. They were so much simpler and quicker to use. One night my nephew and I were cruising around in my 1962 Ford Falcon when I blew a tire. Before we got out of the car, we decided who was going to do what. Then we started the stopwatch. With that simple bumper jack, we changed the tire in less than a minute. If we had had to be using one of those weird screw-in, screw-out scissor jacks they give you today, we'd probably still be there. Thus begins one of the most iconic transformations in television history. Richard Kiel was supposed to play the Hulk, but while he had the height, he didn't have the oversized musculature. He was tall enough, but not big enough around. How about that tire and everything else in sight? That there is how you play Hulk Frisbee. That there is how you let off steam when you lose. Next morning, he's just wandering around.
Get away from me!
Personal space, dude. Keep your hands to yourself. Daddy is trouble because he has a rifle. He's trying to save you, kid. He respects what she says and keeps his distance. How many respectful monsters have you ever heard of? But he has to do something. She's too far away to grab onto it, so he's going to try and get it closer to her. He's just not sure how.
Susie! Hey, get away from there! Get the hell away from my daughter! Did you hear me? Now get away! Get away from her!
Shouldn't have done that. It should have been obvious he was trying to rescue the girl. But he's big and green, so that makes him evil. Shoot him. Meanwhile, his maneuver with the tree did save your little girl, dude. Remember her? See, he's even helping you go in and fish her out. You should be thanking him. He wrecks their campsite and then runs away. Oh no, the green tempera paint on my hand washed off and I don't have any more on me. They couldn't get waterproof body makeup for him? As he looks at his reflection in the water, he changes back to David Banner. Speaking of which, we all know his name is Bruce in the comics. The story that's told says that some of the producers or some other mucky mucks didn't think Bruce sounded manly enough. Crazy Magazine had a little fun with that. They spoofed the show, but in the course of it, one of the characters mentioned that. Down in the corner was a little radio. It was saying, "And Jenner wins the decathlon. Bruce is the world's greatest athlete." At the end, they'll give his full name as David Bruce Banner. In the comics, in one issue, someone made a lettering mistake and dubbed him Bob Banner. Suddenly we had to explain that, so his full name was now Robert Bruce Banner. This series is giving its own take on all things Hulk, and nothing purports to be canonical, so to me it wasn't that big a deal. If he goes to a hospital, there will be questions. Lots and lots of questions. And he'll have very few answers. He knows where to go.
Timing is everything.
Never fails. You get in the bath and there's a rub at the lamp.
All right, all right, all right. David, my God. David.
Easy, easy.
What happened to you?
Easy.
The bullet went clear through. She'll treat the wounds as best she can, but neither of them can figure out who would want to shoot it.
David. When did you say you were shot?
I don't know, sometime early this morning.
Well, I'll tell you, this wound looks like it's been healing for about 3 days.
I don't know.
I mean, there's scar tissue formed over it. It's almost as if your body were working faster than usual.
Wolverine wasn't around as a steady character yet, so that isn't a ripoff. He appeared in one panel of a comic in 1974, but didn't really take off until about 1982.
Very strange.
Well, this whole thing has been very strange.
What did happen?
More like, what did you do, David? She's not going to like the story he tells. We've had a good build-up to the Hulk's appearance. We have motivation, we have the means and the equipment, we have the sidekick, and may I say, Elaina Marks beats the heck out of Rick Jones. We have the act, and we have the consequences. And we're just getting started. Wait until Jack McGee gets wind of this. We'll see what happens next time, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and if you're so inclined, join the Patreon for even more fun. I think that's everything I'm supposed to say. Alright, I did forget one thing. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon.